Yeah, I'm in Gotham City in a Batmobile. Even though it get crazy, niggas don't talk like Swayze.
What up? This is Swayze, and I'm sure everybody knows by now, Adam22 had an interview with PopSmoke's alleged killer, Blockstar. And we was on live reacting to the interview. If you haven't seen that, you could check out our last video. And you guys already know how I feel about the interview. At the end of the day, we didn't get any new information. If you ask me, I feel like Adam22 wasted his money because the Blockstar kid was just up there playing musical chairs. He didn't answer any questions that would piece the story together more for the fans of PopSmoke. And the questions that he did answer was public information that we knew already. So, like I said before, I'm not too sure what exactly Adam got out of this interview, except for some backlash, because it looks like there are some people who have a real issue with Adam interviewing Blockstar. For example, one of PopSmoke affiliates, Ross Swish, took to his stories and he said, "Suck my rock, you weird-ass, lame-ass bitch." And he added Adam22 and no jumper. Now I guess some of the backlash got to Adam22 and he felt like he had to explain himself and tell the people why exactly he interviewed PopSmoke's killer. And that's when he posted this to his social medias. And I'm gonna let you check out this clip and I'll be right back with the rest of my commentary.
Some of the feedback about me interviewing Blockstar, PopSmoke's killer. I didn't do that interview because I don't care. That's what a lot of people seem to think, is that Adam just doesn't give a f. That's not the case at all. I did that interview because I thought that it was an important historical record of somebody who was involved in one of the most tragic, insane stories in rap history. I knew PopSmoke. I was texting him for probably a year. We spoke on camera for a couple minutes for Rolling Loud in 2019, like a few months before he passed. And I had a huge amount of respect for him. I'm not ignorant to what a gigantic impact he had on New York City. And I have nothing but respect for him and definitely did not want to, enrage his friends or family. I actually wanted to do a piece of content that I thought they would be able to benefit from by having this conversation so that people could really understand what goes through the mind of somebody who's capable of doing something like that. I think if you watch the interview, it's pretty obvious that I wasn't glamorizing it and that I was trying to have, the tough conversation with him that I thought this situation warranted. I also think that a lot of people seem to think that I'm the first person who's ever interviewed a killer, which is completely not true. All kinds of people come to mind, but let's just go with the obvious example, Terrence Gangster Williams, who I had on, and everybody else in the podcasting world has had on. He says that he's killed over 40 people. And I haven't seen even one single person say that I shouldn't be interviewing him. And I think the reason why is pretty obvious. PopSmoke, famous rapper, beloved. Who did Gangster Williams kill? 40 drug dealers / gang members that you and I don't know. So it's kind of hard to work up that empathy. But when you really look at it, O.J. Simpson did all these interviews. I remember when Vlad took a lot of heat because he interviewed Quickie D, who was, it's extremely analogous situation because Quickie D obviously was involved in one of the most famous murders of a beloved rapper of all time. And I thought that it was pretty impressive that Vlad stood on his principles and did that interview because it was an important story to be told. Just like No Plug, after he killed Bankroll Fresh, he went and did an interview with Vlad, and I thought that was incredibly important. I thought it was very brave of Vlad that he actually went through with it, because that was an important interview in terms of us understanding that it wasn't like he just maliciously went and killed this dude. It was a shootout between two people who didn't get along. One person died. The person who died was the famous rapper, and so everybody, the person died. The person who died was the famous rapper, and so everybody got on Vlad's case because he interviewed somebody that took somebody that they liked out of this world. But the truth is that that interview corrected the record for a lot of people and let them know how that situation really went down. I also think that PopSmoke or the Blockstar interview about PopSmoke was important for that reason too. 50 Cent made a whole documentary where he like basically floated and lended credibility to the idea that Pop Smoke's friend Mike might have been involved in getting him knocked off. I think that interview was like extremely important, just answering questions that Pop Smoke fans had. And I think that those same people, like, they watch that interview and they feel mad and they don't really know what to do with that anger. But the truth is that piece of content, if you're a Pop Smoke fan, is like way more informative than anything else that has came out since he died. So to me, it was important to have that shit. And I also, like, I knew at that time that he was going to go do the interview with somebody else if I didn't do it. So I felt like I was uniquely capable of having a fair conversation with somebody who may have done something horrible, but ultimately at the end of the day is a human being who came out of a fucked up environment. And I think that interview tells that story without glamorizing killing at all. I hope that nobody came away with that conclusion, because that to me is pretty insane. Anyway, if you were offended by any of the clips you see, obviously like probably 1,000 times as many people saw the clips as saw the full interview. I encourage you to go see it, not just because I want to get my numbers up, but because I think it's an important thing to do to understand what exactly we did when we did that interview. And also, I care about one thing more than anything else. And that's feeding the streets, giving the streets what they want. What are the streets exactly? I mean, it's kind of a general term. I'm talking about like the people in the hoods. I'm talking about the gang members. I'm talking about the YouTube commenters. There's a lot of overlap. So what they want to see is really what I'm trying to bring to the table. So, you know, I see a lot of people who are kind of from outside the niche that I occupy, who seem very upset about this. But I know that on my side of things, everybody that I know was incredibly excited to see that interview. It was like one of the most anticipated interviews of the year, because people find it interesting. It's newsworthy, regardless of if you even were invested in Pop Smoke's story. Anyway, that's why I did it. I think I did a great job. I can't take anything away from myself. Me and Remo, we killed it. And yeah, I encourage everybody to go check it out. It's a lot of pick and sides. There's a lot of like, oh, I like this guy, so therefore this guy is bad. I'm just trying to be ideologically consistent. I got Tax Stone in my DMs telling me that I'm fucked up for interviewing this kid because he killed somebody. Tax, you killed somebody. And granted, you haven't done a whole lot of interviews since. I mean, you did do No Jumper. Granted, this was back in like 2016, but you did do No Jumper like a week after that shit. And I'm just saying, it ain't like anybody's lining up to kick Tax out of their fucking Twitter spaces or anything, right? And yeah, Tax had one of the most influential podcasts while he was around. But at the same time, this kid Blockstar is from one of the most notorious, famous hoods in LA. So can't nobody tell me that shit ain't relevant.
Well, there you have it, people. There you have it. Now, if you ask me, I believe the interview at the end of the day was a waste of time. Only because I feel like as the audience, we really didn't get anything out of it. And in his response, he basically says, look, I was giving the streets what they wanted. And I'm just a little confused as to which streets wanted that interview. But at the end of the day, you can't tell another man what to do with his platform. Now, I see a lot of people saying that, yo, something might happen to Adam or whoop the whoop. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Nothing is happening to Adam22. It's his platform. He decided to make a choice to interview Pop Smoke's killer. And at the end of the day, if you're a rapper from the towns and you don't agree with that, just don't go on his platform anymore. You got to understand. Even though, yes, we love Pop Smoke, he also had ops out here in the towns. So I don't think that someone like 22 G's would refuse to go on No Jumper because he did the interview with Pop Smoke's killer. Do you get what I'm saying? Business will continue as usual when it comes to No Jumper. Now, do I think certain people might not do an interview or grant him an interview anymore because of this? Maybe. For example, Cal Henry Richardson, Fun Size Tata, and Jen with the WAP, the whole 4-1 group might not do another interview because of their affiliation with Fivio Foreign. And who knows, Fivio probably feels some type of way about that interview. So we'll see. But do I think Adam22 is going to have to watch his back if he comes to New York? I doubt it. I doubt it. But pull up in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this situation. And if you like the video, don't forget to share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and make sure you hit that notification button. But I'm off this.
This your game and that shit never faze me. I be chillin', don't know why they hate me. Don't like in the streets, I be told no K's hit me and I'm quick to react like Swayze. I'm too different. Fuck these goofies, I'm stacking my chicken. I'm chatting these niggas some bitches. We send niggas back home with some stitches.